Hey guys, Hammeh here, and getting you up to date with a little bit more Overwatch news from BlizzCon in this video. Obviously Sombra's been announced and she's there with all of her abilities for everyone to see, but there's a few other cool bits of news that you may have missed. I'm going to be going through a little bit about the new map that we might be able to expect in December for Overwatch, Oasis, more about the arcade mode, the different kinds of brawls and implications that's going to have for some of the ways that, for example, you may play Quickplay right now, and a bunch of other stuff. Let's get to it. Okay, first up, Oasis. Now this is a new control point map in development that was shown off in the What's New panel, as well as in the BlizzCon opening ceremony. The lore of this map is apparently that it's a high-tech city in the Arabian desert set in the Middle East, founded by scientists who are looking for a way to push the boundaries of modern scientific research. They founded Oasis as kind of a testament to the ingenuity of humanity. What better way to show how science can advance than cultivating a seemingly impossible high-tech city in the middle of an arid desert? Maybe they were trying to dodge a few research rules as well. The Center City Point actually has a jump pad, as Jeff Kaplan mentioned in the What's New panel, so I really can't wait to see how this works with a bunch of in-game mechanics and hero ultimates. The team actually said it was fun seeing how different abilities such as McCree's Deadeye, Soldier 76's Tactical Visor, amongst others, interacted whilst flying into the air on a big jump pad. If you're an independent Mercy who don't need no Farah to pull you into the air, or a couple of Mercies if you've seen people trying to do various Mercy flank routes, then this could be a whole bunch of fun. I really can't wait to see this. Oasis is apparently going to be on the PTR in December, and if all goes well it will release in early 2017, but it depends on testing. So can't wait to have a look at that on PC before it then moves down and goes everywhere else, including consoles as well. Next up, arcade. Now this is actually quite a chunky change to Overwatch and the way that Blizzard can manage game modes and game styles, so it's worth going through. What is arcade? Well, it's basically a new menu or selection point that you can have a look at instead of the weekly brawl. It means that the team can curate and share lots of new and different game modes, not just one brawl a week, which is good. There's more stuff for us to play around with every week, and also it means that the Overwatch team don't have to mess with the balance of the 6v6 competitive game, as was mentioned in the What's New panel. This is kind of a good thing. I think separating stuff out into arcade, some people get confused by it to start with, but it's pretty simple. You go to arcade for fun. Arcade's fun is going to be pretty varied and more varied than before. Another thing is that there's some generous loot boxing going on. So if you win 3 games in arcade, you get a loot box, and you can do this up to 3 times a week before each weekly reset. 3 loot boxes a week just by playing arcade games. Any new mode that's released will also get you a box for playing it as well. TLDR, a bunch more free loot boxes. Everybody happy. Now with arcade and some of the new game modes, Blizzard decided that they needed to design a smaller map. When I've tried to do some viewer duels and things for fun on my streams, you can totally get that it's not easy to do viewer duels and small team games on a big map. So we now have a new map just for arcade modes called Eco Point Antarctica. The lore is all based around Mei and her backstory, as I said in my quick news video yesterday at the opening ceremony, and climatology program that Overwatch was involved in its golden era. Mei's backstory is very tied with Eco Point Antarctica. She was helping research on Overwatch's behalf why there were problems with climate change, and when she was in Antarctica there was a devastating polar storm that cut off the base. Mei's team decided to put themselves into cryostasis in an attempt to survive the storm. No help actually was forthcoming. Many years later, when the base was recovered, Mei sadly was the only person who had survived. So, as you can see, in a polar environment there's lots of interesting things. We're probably going to learn a bunch as to how Mei lived, and it'll be a nice little window into the backstory of Mei. It's really, really cool. I'm going to be walking around that map trying to find every last little Easter egg as soon as it releases. What kind of modes are coming into arcade and to Watch Point Antarctica? Well, with a smaller map, there's now a 1v1 mystery duel. This is something you'll be able to fight in the arcade mode. Jeff Kaplan said it was kind of for resolving disputes as much as anything else. Whenever anyone said 1v1 me bro in a game, well, now people can go and do it in an area on their own. It's a best of 9, which means that the first person to 5 is going to win, of course, and it's totally random heroes, but both participants in the 1v1 have to use the same hero. So it could be Torbjorn versus Torbjorn, Symmetra versus Symmetra, nothing more equal and balanced than that. It'll be fascinating to see how people enjoy that one. Next up, there's going to be a new 3v3 mode called Elimination. Antarctica is really suited for this, and how much fun this is going to be. So this is basically an arena team deathmatch. You pick any team composition each round. You are locked in for that round until one team has won, and you only have 1 life. So if you're dead for the round. Blizzard are really excited as to what kind of team compositions people are going to put together, risk with. Say for example Mercy, she can res people in a mode where you've only got 1 life. Is really, really powerful, but of course she's taking away survivability and firepower. The enemy Mercy in that situation is going to be targeted really, really hard. So I really can't wait to play this. This sounds so fun. It's an entirely new way of playing Overwatch, and it's really going to show off the potential of the characters and very close-knit team play. It's kind of like World of Warcraft Arena. Either way, I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be so much fun. I know I'm going to be grabbing a bunch of friends and going in. And of course, you can queue as a group, or you can queue just on your own. So loads of fun to be had there. Arcade mode's also getting some cool 6v6 stuff. One mode is going to be Mystery Heroes. Blizzard love the fact that people liked Mystery Heroes as a brawl type, where you just have random heroes every single time, so that's going to be more accessible in the arcade. Now, big news here, there's going to be another 6v6 mode in arcade called No Limits, and this is effectively what Quickplay is at the moment. I may well do a separate video on what I think about this and its implications for Overwatch. On balance, it's a good thing. What you need to get your head around is that Quickplay is going to get single hero limit like competitive, so you can jump into a Quickplay unranked game, but it's going to have single hero limit. The current Quickplay experience, where you can have as many of a single hero, you can hero stack as you like, is now going to be called No Limits, and it's now going to be an arcade. Very long story short, I think that's good because it's going to give people more of a pathway into competitive. But people can still choose to go and mess around and have as much fun as they like in the arcade in No Limit if they want to. For the long-term health of the game and for getting people to understand some of the core concepts of Overwatch, I think that's probably going to be a good thing, although some people will find that it takes some getting used to. Okay, final thing for arcade mode. All brawls is going to be a mode in arcade mode. Now, at the end of every round it cycles to a new brawl. All brawls are in one place, and you can just jump into a brawl and play random brawls back to back, which is a really interesting way of doing it. So Blizzard basically found, or so they said from the panel, that people would come every week, try the brawl, and then people would kind of leave the brawl alone. So they wanted a way of keeping the brawl more alive and making it more a mode that you could jump in for a longer period of time for fun, rather than having to wait for a single brawl each week. This makes perfect sense, and it's going to be a nice fun playlist that people can jump into, either as a warm-up or just to chill out and have some fun. 2 new brawls are also going to be coming. One of them is apparently only Lucio's and Reinhardt's. Jeff Kaplan said that he thought it was called Charge, but it still needs a name from the writing team at Blizzard. And another one, and I love the name for this, that came from the lead writer Michael Chu, is This is Ilios! As you can imagine, that's on Well only on Ilios, and it's only Roadhogs and Lucios. Let the games begin. Now, brilliant news for all of this stuff. Arcade, Eco Point Antarctica, all the new modes, and Sombra is going to be on the PTR next week. It's probably going to be Tuesday, I would imagine, so that's traditional Blizzard patch day, but hey, if it drops on Monday, I'm not going to complain. So really good news, we're going to be getting our hand on this content all really, really soon. And of course, if it goes well on PTR, then maybe it'll be out pretty soon after that. Finally, I'm going to jump into some of the game crossover news. Long story short, in Heroes of the Storm, there's a cool mode being introduced called Nexus Challenge. So what do you need to do? There's a special skin for Overwatch coming called Oni Genji. If you play 15 games in Nexus Challenge when it releases, then you can not only grab Oni Genji as a skin, but a Oni Genji spray and a player icon in Overwatch. In Heroes of the Storm, you can unlock Zarya as a free hero, as well as an Oni Genji portrait. And you can unlock a really, really cool bike mount and 4 more free heroes, as well as a 3 30-day stim pack that boosts your XP gain, gold gain. So the stim pack is a really, really good way of you playing heroes. And you can jump into Nexus Challenge, play all of these games with friends, and have a bunch of fun. It's not a ranked situation with the pressure that some people perceive that brings if you're jumping into heroes. If you love the universe of Blizzard, maybe if you played League of Legends, Dota, Smite, or another MOBA before, or if you've never played a MOBA before, Heroes is really fun to get into. I actually used to do a bunch of videos on the channel for Heroes. Maybe I'll go back there again or just play it for fun on some streams. I do encourage you, if you're on PC, give Heroes of the Storm a go, get yourself some free Overwatch stuff, and who knows, maybe you'll find a new game to play as well. Thanks so much for tuning in to that extra BlizzCon Overwatch news that you may have missed in light of all of the Sombra announcements. What do you think of Oasis? Do you like the idea of this new map? What do you think of jump pads in Overwatch? I'm really excited to try that out as an old school 90s FPS player, as Jeff Kaplan put it on the panel. And how are you feeling about arcade mode? What do you think about Quickplay getting 1 hero limit? You're still going to be able to play all of your heroes stacking. 6 Torbjorns and Dwarf Fortress is totally a thing, but in the arcade. Do you think that's going to be good for Overwatch? I'm really excited for all of this content. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for checking out my BlizzCon coverage. I have covered Sombra's lore and done a lore summary. The hero voice lines and interactions piece of that will come, as well as a remastered video when I get the voice lines and they're available. Do check out my Sombra news, BlizzCon news, and other things drop in my BlizzCon playlist, as well as all of the regular videos that I'm releasing. Cheers for tuning in. I'm Hammeh. Take it easy.